Mark McClan just found all that stuff, ended up killing himself
All
later
this
on.
stuff is so fun, which is why the Y files are so good. Because it's like I always get the same feeling when I watch your show. It's like, oh, what is the answer? What is real? What is it? But it's what is it about us that's so intrigued by these mysteries? I mean, there's so much that we know that is real. Just the nature of the cosmos itself, of black holes and solar nurseries and all the wild shit that's absolutely real. But there's these things that are like, yeah, but what is that?
I don't think enough people are interested in it, to be honest. I think that's part of the problem.
Well, do you think it's because for the most part it's dismissed, and if you engage in it, it's like if you're a normal person, not like you or I, but if you're a person that has like a job in an accounting firm, you're like a very respected, legitimate person, especially like pre-2017, pre the New York Times article, and you want to start talking about like gravity propulsion systems that the government's been hiding, and that there's back engineering programs, they've got crashed UFOs, and there's one of them, it's only like a couple 100 feet wide, but you go inside of it, it's the size of a football field. Like,
Right, like
what?
the TARDIS.
Yeah. Or the one in Korea that's so big they had to build a building around it because they couldn't move it.
Right.
I want to know what that is.
Same. I wish more people were interested in it.
I would almost be willing to run for president just to get access. Just if I ran for president, the company would be in shambles, but everybody would know everything about UFOs.
Dude, you have no shot.
I have no shot. They'd kill me for sure.
I can't believe the things you say are news.
Oh yeah, well, it's because news is like really dead.
Yes, that's true.
News is
That's true.
slow.
They're angry about independent media.
Well, they are, but it's also the news is not. So their business is just clicks. And what better way to get clicks than I said something crazy? And so then, and then it also kind of supports the idea that we need to be gatekeeped and someone needs to, be able to stop us from spreading misinformation, or my favorite term, malinformation. This is
I
something
don't know
that
that.
came up during COVID, that we need to stop the spread of misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. Malinformation is real information that is true and accurate, but would be negative in its impact to society, which is
It's bonkers.
crazy.
We can't live in that society.
Well, they're making us infants, right? They're saying we can handle this, but the vast majority of you, even though we're all supposed to be equal and the government's supposed to be working for you and serving the people, no. We will have this information and we will know what we're doing, and you won't be able to have access to it because you're not ready for it because you're too stupid.
They lost. They lost already. They just don't know it yet, but they lost.
Yeah, they lost a long time ago.
I'm gonna put out an episode about how dragons are real, and when I get to the debunk, I'm gonna say nothing. They're real. Peace out.
Triangular spacecraft. What is this?
Stumbled down a little rabbit hole and found a patent that exists or did exist. It was abandoned in 2006.
This could be I forget the
Look at
title.
this.
The SR was it 7RB?
There's a T3B.
So this is like the
3B.
ones that they always see, like the Phoenix lights and that one. So it says a spacecraft having a triangular hull with vertical electrostatic line charges on each corner that produce a horizontal electric field parallel to the sides of the hull. This field interacting with a plane wave emitted by antennas on the side of the hull generates a force per volume combining both lift and propulsion. What?
Wow.
Gives all the math, but like I don't know how
What?
to do this math. And if someone,
we need to get Eric here.
Someone can look at it and be like, "That's not real."
Get
but
Eric Weinstein to like do that math.
It hasn't been made, obviously, or that we know of.
Has, Jamie.
And I'm surprised it's not classified.
There's other, according to this article, that's where I found it. There's what it was about the T3B thing.
Right. So that's a real experimental aircraft.
Does America have a reverse engineered UFO? Whoa.
But
This goes back to 1991 with the Desert Storm. There's reports of what they call a TR-3A, which looks a lot like what the stealth bomber kind of is,
Yeah.
but also
Whoa.
Yep.
no confirmed.
TR-3B is said to be like nothing we've seen before.
This was what I got to from Liquid Mercury. I was trying to find stuff about it, and there's theories that people say that like this is probably what they're running off of.
It's supposedly
Or could
powered
be.
by a reverse-engineered anti-gravity drive that was recovered from a crashed alien spacecraft. The TR-3B is where reports of UAP performing seemingly impossible aerial maneuvers intersect with stories about very real aircraft.
Read the next paragraph.
There are lots of claims over the internet about TR-3B's anti-gravity drive, most of which include using nuclear power to rotate highly pressurized mercury to produce plasma and, in turn, a gravitational field. Whoa.
Something about the mercury.
Have you ever heard Eric Weinstein talk about this? There's a college in upstate New York that has an incredibly overqualified physics department, and they're attached to a hedge fund that does Bernie Madoff type numbers.
Yes.
And he thinks the whole thing is a cover for some sort of advanced physics that they have been keeping a lockdown on.
And it would make total sense. I mean, SRI would be another good example of that, right? Where Hal was in the 70s, with Project Stargate and all of that, and Stanford.
Yeah. The idea that the government can't keep secrets, like, what about Epstein? What? Come on.
People ask me all the
That's
time.
in front of everybody's face, and they've kept the list a secret.
We're never going to see the list. Stop asking me. You're not going to see the list. Why not? Because all your heroes are on it, and they're on it a lot. It's never coming out.
Yeah, and I have a friend that thinks like a lot of the world events that you're seeing, one of the reasons why people support it is because of Epstein, because of the list, because people are compromised, because no one can talk about things, which is like really wild. So the government can keep some secrets.
Manhattan Project was
yes.
secret.
They did a great job with that, and that was one that, it was a race between us and the other foreign powers. They were all trying to come up with a nuclear bomb first. We did it first. The idea that there's no way that we could have some sort of advanced propulsion system and that modern physicists would be aware of the state of the art and they would tell you, yeah, no, this is not possible. I don't think that's correct. I think you could probably, if you were working on something and you had a very specific hierarchy and you were really good at compartmentalization and you were recruiting these people at a very early stage in their career, people with promise, these geniuses, giving them a very high salary, a prestigious position, but then everything's locked down. Cell phones, email, they're under constant surveillance, and if somebody steps out of line, like the lady in Maryland, the Chinese lady.
Yep. And a lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot of them go that way.
Yeah.
I'm skeptical about a lot of the whistleblowers, especially the ones that come out of Air Force intelligence and all that.
Me too.